So, how exactly do we teach a machine to be, well, good? Not just smart, but helpful, harmless, and actually aligned with human values? Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating new approach to AI safety. It's called constitutional AI.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You're talking to a chatbot, and you get a response that is completely, totally unhelpful. It's a perfect example of this huge challenge in AI. How do we get these systems to be genuinely useful and not just, robotic script followers?
Well, that frustration you feel when you get a bad chatbot response, it's actually the tip of the iceberg. It points to a much, much bigger and more fundamental issue in AI, something that researchers call the value alignment problem. Here's a way to think about it. It's kind of like training a dog. Yeah, you can teach a dog to fetch a ball, no problem. But how do you teach it why it shouldn't chew up your favorite sneakers? That's the value alignment problem in a nutshell. It's not just about teaching an AI what to do. It's about getting it to understand the why behind our ethics. So you've got this massive, complex problem. How do you even begin to tackle it? Well, a team over at Anthropic came up with this really elegant idea. They thought, okay, instead of a human having to correct every single little mistake the AI makes, what if the AI could learn to correct itself? And that right there is the core idea of constitutional AI. It is basically like giving the AI a conscience. You give it a set of rules, its constitution, and then it learns to check its own work against those principles before it ever gives you an answer. So what does this actually look like? Well, you can think of it as programming an AI to have its own internal moral compass, or maybe a quality checklist it has to run through. It's got this built-in process for self-review, which, believe me, is a total game changer compared to just having it follow commands. All right, so let's see how this whole self-review thing actually plays out. The difference between a response before this process and after is, well, it's pretty much night and day. So here's a peek inside the AI's brain, so to speak. First, it spits out a rough draft of an answer. But then, and this is the important part, it stops. It asks itself, hold on a second. Does this response violate my principles? Am I being kind of dismissive here? Am I really helping the person? And then it rewrites its own work to create that final, much better output. And just look at this difference. On the left, you've got that useless, dismissive bot we all hate. But on the right, after it applied its constitution, the AI suddenly shows empathy. It takes ownership of the problem, and it offers actual concrete solutions. And get this, it's the exact same AI. The only thing that changed was that it was guided by a better set of values. And you can probably see, this is way bigger than just making customer service bots less annoying. This changes everything. It has huge implications for how we can safely use AI out in the real world, especially when the stakes are incredibly high. What's just staggering is how fast this field is moving. I mean, think about it. In a single decade, we've gone from a what-if question that philosophers were debating to having real practical solutions that are being used right now. And these applications are most critical in areas where a single mistake could cause real, serious harm. Let's take healthcare. An AI with a constitution can be designed to never give a diagnosis, to always state that it's not medical advice, and to always tell you to go see a doctor. That's not just a nice feature, it's a vital safety guardrail. The old way of doing this was often a total black box. You'd get an answer from an AI, and nobody, not even the people who built it, could tell you exactly how it got there. Constitutional AI is so much more transparent. You can actually pop the hood and read the rules it's following. And that is a huge step towards building AI systems that we can actually genuinely trust. So this all sounds pretty amazing, right? But this incredible new power to bulk values right into our technology, well, it brings us to a really, really big question. Because everything, and I mean everything, in this entire system hinges on the quality of that constitution. The principles we choose become the AI's inner voice, its guide for everything it does. So, what happens if we get those principles wrong? And that's really the bottom line here. As we build AI that gets more and more powerful, the main challenge isn't technical anymore. It's becoming a societal one. We now have this incredible ability to give AI a moral compass, but that leaves us with the ultimate question. Who gets to decide which way is north? And that is a conversation we all need to start having right now.